We are streaming. It is streaming. It is very streaming. I am streaming for all of you that caught the other stream that I did because I didn't set up the stream. Now you're seeing the real stream. La ya. So yes, the pre-show stream was streaming. Let me go ahead and fire this out to my one guy that follows me on X that likes it when I notify folks of the show. I have to log in? Oh, come on. No. So we are still streaming. It is going to be amazing because we're streaming. Oh, yes, stream. You're watching me doing last minute prep because I figured I don't have much time today. So I would just stream while I'm setting it up. This is the musical version of the stream. Oh, come on. All right. Give me the password. There it is. Do that one. Logmin. Nope. Oh, I gotta take a text message. It's a stream message. You guys ever, so what I try to do with my brain is I try, and not totally successfully because I didn't do it today, I try to memorize my code whenever I give a second two-factor authentication code. I try to memorize it as a way to try to fight the Alzheimer's, which is probably coming my way. All right, this is very exciting streaming, isn't it? This is awful. I shouldn't be doing this, but we are doing it because I don't care. You're going to watch this because it's entertainment. Entertainment is abounding right now because you're watching me prep the thing. So what's happening is I have a tri-tip that is in the smoker. And I don't know if you can hear it now, but it is going. And I have some people coming over at 6 for our crazy movie night. And it is 4 o'clock, so I'll probably get going in about an hour and a half or so. So let's not waste any more time. Shall we? Shall we get this thing started? I think we shall. Frame. There, it's back to me. Hey, I'm back. I'm going to throw this on my Facebook anyway. Why not? Welcome to the live stream today. We've got some things to talk about this week because I actually watched some movies. So I'm here in my new studio space. I missed last week here because it was raining and nothing happened, and I was just so worn out from the rain on Friday night, especially because it was raining pretty hard on Friday. I had a class. And I let the class go, but then I locked up the room and started heading to my car and been like, I have my car's wallet. You know, you do that song, right? Keys, wallet, phone in your pocket, you know. But the thing is, I'm mistaken a SD card SD card case for my phone. And in fact, I left my phone in the room. And being that Friday night, because if you work in education, I guess higher education does not work on Fridays, except for me. No one was in the building on Friday. And then nowadays, trying to find a phone, like an actual handle, like a phone on a handle, is like damn near impossible. And so what I had to do was I was trying to find something. I was going well, do I pull the fire alarm to get the security out? Because I'm like, all right, I'm going to walk to the other side of the campus. So I start walking, and I'm walking through the rain, and it's like a good, for something they can put in terms of, let's say, a football field. You all know what a football field is, even if you're not an American. You all know what a football field. Even if you are, if you're not American, think of a football as in football pitch. Same bout. It's about 3 football pitches away was the main campus. I'm walking through the rain, and I am like, I'm definitely. You can tell it's not acoustics, absolutely. And I'm walking through the rain, and I finally, and there's no phones on the campus either. And I finally found some dance troupe that's like rehearsing, and they, I was going, do you guys have a phone? And they're like, oh yeah. And the teacher that's overseeing it showed me the phone was in the closet. So I called the security guys. Hey, I locked myself in the room. Can you come get me? And they're like, can you open the door for me? Yeah. And then I asked them, can you come get me? Because I know you guys ride around those little golf carts. You can just pick me up because I don't want to walk through the rain back. And they're like, no, sir, we cannot pick you up. We are not a pickup service. I'm like, all right, fine. So I get back my hoodie, and I just walk through the rain again and get back to my classroom. Like 5 minutes after that, the security guard comes in there, and they opened the room and said, oh yeah, if you can just get on one of these open computers that are out here, get on Teams, and then call us from Teams. I'm like, well, now I know. I didn't know before, so that's right. So as we mentioned, this room is not soundproof yet because we are not at that stage. This is the drywall has been put up right now. So as you can see, last time I was on stream, we had just insulation, but now the drywall has been installed. And if you're not a construction person, because I wasn't, when I thought drywall was done, I thought that meant like, oh, they put all the stuff on there, right? No. This is drywall. This is just drywall. So what happens next, and I got my second door propped open so we can have some air coming through here, and a little light for us. So what's going to happen next is Monday, they're going to inspect the nails to make sure that I have enough nails. Yes, they got to have. Can you imagine that your job is to walk? Well, this is a small job, right? Because I guess if you had like a proper school or something that's being inspected, that would take a much longer time than this would be literally a 2-minute job. Oh yeah, I got enough nails, you're good, and sign off on that. But I've got to do that. So then they'll do something called taping and mud. Taping is, I guess, taping all the seams between the pieces of drywall, as Americans call it. I'm not sure, I think you guys call it gypsum or something to that extent. And then they put the mud, which is the plaster that goes on top of that, and they can create like little indentations for it. So yes, it is not sound treated yet. And my intention is to do hardwood or at least linoleum on the floor, and then do colored walls on the sides. But I want to do acoustic wood slats. And it's driving me a little bit batty to try to find acoustic slats that aren't going to be super expensive. I want to do it on this wall that's to my right here, where this light is. And I want to do it on the 2 walls that are, there we go. The walls behind me, and that's my edit bay back there. That'll be my edit bay back there, okay? And I want to do it the walls behind me, but right now I'm thinking I should do the walls in front of me as well, so that I can when I'm working, look at the wooden slats instead of having it only behind me. So, and it wouldn't be too much more to do in addition to doing what I'm planning to do already. So that's what I'm doing it, however. But that's the thing. It's like it just takes, I'm trying to figure out the best cost to do this. And so far I've kind of leaning toward this one company called 3D Art on Amazon. And because it's not the most expensive, it's not the cheapest stuff, but also it's Amazon, so I can utilize some of my rewards with that thing. So I can utilize, like, there's a monthly installment thing I can utilize, which will bring the cost. It's going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of like, well, now I want to add more, maybe like $1,300-$1,400. But I'm in that zone right now where I just don't want to spend any more money. Like I'm kind of, this is getting close. This is getting close to finished. I'm like, all right, I've spent enough damn money, but I'm like, well, the wood slats would look really classy, and it would bring a nice class the joint, might joint class this joint up. So it might be something I just bite the bullet and do it, and I mean, I'm not going to regret it in the future. I'm going to probably think, why didn't I just do this? Because I think it's going to look great. But anyhow, that's the state. That's the current state. So yes, your room is looking a little steampunk. Well, it won't be steampunk when it's done. It'll be more like Nordic spa. By the way, today we are enjoying ourselves a nice little glass of not beer. I don't know. It is beer. Great natural light setup. I kind of designed it this way. So right now I am being lit by obviously a little light right now, but it's not doesn't look bad. The reason I designed it this way is behind me is south. So actually, the sun never comes in directly into this place. It's always going to come in from an angle. Is this official Filmmaker IQ merch? Unfortunately, this is my limited collection of stuff. I have not tried to put it for sale, but I should. Yeah, wood is expensive. But anyhow, so behind me is south. So other than that window right there, that little tiny window behind me there is no window facing south. Instead, the door there faces west. But the thing is, the door also faces my house. So, and now that I've built it, I mean, I kind of was thinking this when I built it, but I didn't really realize how tall it would be in relationship to the thing. And the cool thing is, there may be 3 to 4 hours of the day where there's direct sunlight in between my little courtyard patio, which is right over there, which is perfect. So in the morning, it's very cool, but it's also, it's morning. And in the afternoon, it's very cool. The only time that you may not want to be out there is like between the hours of like 11 and 3. I mean, right now it's in shade and it's 4 o'clock. U.S. Pacific time. So that's a really good advantage because I'm going to try to make my patio sort of like my outdoor living kind of space to relax and chill while I'm freaking out over editing. So that is that. That should save me any UV radiation damage on carpets and paint. So that's a good point, actually. So the only thing is I won't be able to grow a whole lot of plants unless they like shade in here. You want to buy one of these merch? Let's see if I can try to get the merch going again. I mean, I got to try to take Filmmaker IQ and do some more stuff with it because it's been a long time since I made a video. But as you can see, you can kind of see what I've been doing. I've not been completely not doing anything. I've just been super busy. And to be fair, I've been kind of burned out. I'm getting a little burned out right now. I'm feeling the burn. Burnout. This is an older comment from the Silly Cat. A municipal government employee has to come out to prove of what you've done. Yes, unfortunately. And that's just the way. And so I chat GPT'd it, like, why is that necessary? Well, it's necessary because the drywall serves, and this is what it told me, it's necessary because the drywall serves a functional purpose as well. It's not just decorative. The drywall is kind of, you don't want to cover up with tape and mud and then look at it and go like, oh shoot, you didn't put enough screws in this thing, and like there's a little earthquake and all of a sudden the whole panel falls down and hits you on the head. I guess that's the reasoning why they make you do an inspection at this point. So, but I guess on a much larger scale it would be important, but like the problem is anything over in my city, and probably a lot of cities across the U.S., anything larger than 120 square feet requires a permit. And so at that point, like even this particular space is 320 square feet, so it's like about almost three times as big as the requirement. So yeah, you're going to need a permit, which it's fine. It is what it is. So that's what the situation is with that. All right, so I'm excited. So Monday they'll be inspecting it, and who knows how it's going to go because right now my contractor's it's just kind of like, what's happening? You got to tell me. I kind of know, but I'm not holding my breath necessarily. I'm not like dying on anything. I'm just like, well, it's got to take time to do what you got to do because I'm kind of burned out and I don't want to. Once they finish, that's when I have to start taking over and I'm doing my side of the thing, which is going to be painting it, installing the wood slat that I want to do, and then eventually putting the network in here and moving all my stuff in here, which is going to be a long, long day. Long day. Well, a couple days, I guess. And the inspections keep the property records up to date for property tax purposes. Oh, well, that makes sense. Shoot, I didn't think I would have to pay more taxes than. Well, I think because of the Prop 11 in California, even though it goes up in value, doesn't mean I have to necessarily. I mean, it's still subject to like 1.1% growth, so I'm still kind of paying on a valuation of 1989. So that's good. All right, so let's go talk about a couple of movies that I put into my title before I kind of catch up on another thing I wanted to talk about. But we'll see if I can remember what it was I was going to talk about. My brain's already starting to lose or forget what I was going to say. All right, so let's talk about Flow. So Matthews, I don't know if he usually shows up once in a while here to these streams, but he was always suggesting that I watch Flow. Now, Flow won the Oscar, I believe, for Best Animated Feature. Flow movie, there it is. Let's pick it up. Let's just read for you I'm not going to try to pull it up here. Let's read for you the synopsis of Flow, or at least the log line here, at least from Wikipedia. That's good enough for today. Flow, come on. It's a Latvian 2004 animated venture film directed by Gints. There we go. Gints Zilbalandis, and written by Zilbalandis and Matis Kaza. A Latvian-French-Belgian co-production features no dialogue, follows a cat trying to survive along with other animals in a seemingly post-apocalyptic world as the water levels dramatically rise. Production in Flow started in 2019, lasted 5.5 years when the animation done free and open source software Blender. Jacques Tati and Future Boy Conan served as inspirations for the film. No storyboards were used for the production, and there was no deleted scenes. That's an interesting feature. Flow premiered in 22 May 2004 at the Cannes Film Festival in an Uncertain Regard section and was released in Latvian theaters on August 29th. It received critical acclaim and broke several Latvian box office records, including the most viewed film in Latvian theaters history, including foreign films. 97 Academy Awards. Flow won Best Animated Feature and also received a nomination for Best International Feature Film as Latvia's submission, becoming the first film from Latvia to win and receive nomination at the Academy Awards, and also won the Golden Globe Award in Best Animated Feature. Both statuettes related put on display at the Latvian National Museum of Art. Good for you guys. The film itself, I enjoyed it tremendously. I really, really liked it. I was really impressed by the level of animation. I mean, it's a different kind of animation. So it's not a traditional, it's not a Pixar animation in that the shading is done in a very like smooth way. The shading is very rough almost. I don't know how to describe it other than that. But I thought it gave the film a little bit of a character that you don't see a lot. And the animation, though, more importantly, like the rendering, the way it was rendered, may not be your traditional rendering, but the animation was spectacular. The entire film, like I described there, is just a cat. And it's a cat running around, and it is trying to escape for some reason, and they don't tell you why. This is an abandoned world. There's no humans in it at all. This cat, which sleeps in like a little house, like an abandoned house, the waters just suddenly rise. And the cat has to escape, and then he gets on a boat. And the boat, there's a capybara on the boat, and there's kind of a friendship that develops between the cat and the capybara, and then they're joined by some other animals. I won't go through all of them. It becomes sort of like a group, like an odyssey between all these different animals. Is it? Maybe my theme for the two movies. I think my voice is peaking. I'm sorry about that. I'm bringing it down just a tad bit. I think the theme for today's movie might be that couldn't have happened that way, because I feel that way about this movie and the next movie I want to talk about. So I mean, there is a little bit of fantasy element of these different animals kind of behaving together, like living together and wanting to hang out with each other, because I don't think it would have happened that way. But yeah, no, it's definitely worth checking out. If I'm going to be completely honest, it's not a movie that I'm going to be thinking about a lot. It is, however, a movie that I enjoyed a lot. I think maybe in 2 years you're going to say like, "Hey, remember that movie Flow?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a great movie," but it's not like a movie I'm going to like be on the top of my mind for the next few things. Oh, Silly Cats! I get to hear your opinion on that movie. Did I cry? I don't think it has that Pixar ability to cry. I think the reason why Pixar can make you cry is Pixar has amazing music. Like Pixar puts the music with the animation, and all of a sudden you are a mass of tears and you are unconsolably sad or happy, and you don't know why because of the damn freaking music that Pixar picks. But this movie, I think if it had like more dramatic, emotional music, maybe there was a point I would have cried. However, I also, it's hard for me to at least connect on that emotional level with something that it's a silent movie, so that the animals don't talk, right? There's not a talking thing, so everything's done through pantomime, and it is literally. So I don't know if I would connect emotionally enough to be at the point where I would have cried in this movie, but there is a sad part at the end. But sometimes, if you look at it, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's sad, but is it sad? Or is it more bittersweet? I think it's more bittersweet. I like that. Thank you very much. Thank you for calling me Dean Cain. I've always thought I kind of looked like Dean Cain in a very, very small way. My abs do not resemble Dean Cain's at all. I wish they did. I grew up with Lois and Clark, Adventures of Superman. That was Terry Hatcher was my sixth grade crush, or at least one of them, my sixth grade crushes. I was always attracted to sixth grade to Terry Hatcher, especially back in Lois Lane days. So this is what we were talking about. There you go. So Joanne Davidovic, renowned anime, recommends The Day the Earth Blew Up, Looney Tunes movie. That's a recommendation. I'm just not a big fan of Looney Tunes, but I might check it out. I got some time to check it out. I'm jealous of people in California with weather over there. Still kind of cold here. Yeah, it was kind of cold until literally 3 days ago. And then now it's too hot for a sweater, too hot for a jacket, which is why I am not wearing a jacket. It is lovely. Oh my God, it is lovely right now. So I'm enjoying it. So yeah, okay, so this is what you guys were talking about, crying. Why are grown men crying about Snow White, a movie made for little goyles? Or girls, he corrected that. Well, because I think Snow White wasn't made for little girls. Snow White is made for everybody. I think... So I think, and then maybe my being facetious there may have touched on a point there, that the original Snow White was not made for girls. The original Snow White was made for everybody. And Walt Disney, I don't think, desired to just target girls with the original Snow White. I think Walt Disney tried to target his largest market segment he could possibly. It's like wholesome family entertainment. That was sort of what Walt Disney's thing was. And I make that distinction between targeting girls, like something like Barbie. Right, Barbie, the movie, is definitely targeting girls. It would really be hard pressed to say, well, that movie is not meant for boys, or that movie was meant for boys. It's targeted for girls and maybe gay men, like a not Ned Flanders, but a Waylon Smithers with his Barbie collection, his Malibu Stacy collection. But no, I mean, so I think you can. So I think it's unfair to say that Snow White is a movie made for girls. Now, the new Snow White, you could say, well, that is made for girls, but problem is, whenever you do these damn photorealistic things, you got that baggage of the old school movie. So it's a little unfair to say the new Snow White's only made for girls when it's like, well, but it's based on a property that wasn't only meant for girls. It's meant for everybody. So, in here, you live in England, just rain for you. I felt that like a week ago, so that's why I didn't stream last week, because it was raining and I just was so tired I didn't do it. Yeah, how did you read my mind, Bullet Sign? So Terry Hatcher with Superman and Tango and Cash. I have recently set up my Plex server now. because my friends and I do a bad movie night, and we're like running out of bad movies to watch. And I'm like, how can we be running out of bad movies to watch? And since I'm doing this studio here, I'm building a little media server, which is actually should be finished. Backing up my footage, so I'm backing up my hard drive. So I have an NAS, which is about, I want to say 20 terabytes. I'm only using about 10 terabytes. So the process I'm developing, I bought a Mac Mini, and the Mac Mini is going to systematically back up that NAS to another hard drive as a daily backup, and then once a week it's going to go to the cloud with Amazon S3 Bucket, which is going to go immediately into the middle level Amazon Glacier, which is relatively inexpensive. It's actually a lot cheaper than like Dropbox. For the same amount of space, you're spending like maybe 10% of the cost. But there is limitations on how quickly you can download it. I mean, if you wanted to back it up, if you wanted to retrieve the footage, if you wanted to retrieve the files from the cloud backup, it'll take like a day or two before it starts, which is fine by me because that's the purpose of that backup is catastrophic backup. If I lose my NAS and then when my NAS has some data protection on it, if I lose that and I lose my local backup, I can always go to the cloud backup. But that's catastrophic. That's the third layer down. So anyhow, in the whole process, I wanted to build a Plex server. So I built a Plex server. I'm getting to the point. Damn it. All right. So I wanted to build a Plex server so I could store my movies and include all these bad movies we're watching. So I now have 61 bad movies on that thing that we can watch. So we are probably set for a good part of a year, maybe more. And one of those I was recommended was Tango and Cash. So I literally had Tango. I have Tango and Cash on my Plex server, and that might be one of our bad movie nights. And speaking of bad movie nights, I saw someone say something about Giggles. I have a movie called Dr. Giggles, which I'm looking forward to. That could very well be a classic in our history of bad movie nights. All right, let's see. Oh, there you go. I heard recently that Warner Brothers considered selling Looney Tunes possibly to Paramount or Universal. Why not? Or just sell it to Disney. Right? And then we'll have a proper Roger Rabbit reboot. I'm slurring my words already. It has begun. Tonight is going to be fun, and tomorrow I do have to do a little bit of work. Or tonight we'll have some fun, and then I'll probably clear the stuff out so they can do their mud and taping whenever they do that. Why don't you watch the Beast of Yucca Flats? That's a good one. Let's put that on there. Is it a good bad movie though? So one of the things we've also discovered too is we tend to want to keep our selections in the 80s and 90s. I will allow a movie that happens in the 2000s, but it can't be self-aware. Like no movies that are modern, but they are like we're going to be grindhouse. I want legitimate, authentic grindhouse experience. So I do have a couple blaxploitation movies in there too. Human Tornado is a one. P.D. Wheatstraw, another blaxploitation. Dragon Fist, I believe, is something like that. I just added that this morning because a friend recommended we should watch that. Where this one, it's a black guy, but he has to meet up. It's kind of credited starting one of the early martial arts obsession for blaxploitation. So he's got to meet this like master shogun called Shonuff. Anyhow, I don't know. I gotta watch it. I'm thinking maybe tonight I suggest we watch Beyond. I believe. I gotta look this up. That's one of the things I was considering watching tonight. And then the other one was Guns with Eric Estrada and the guy that plays Machete. I forget his name. What's his name? Chat will tell me. But that's another one I think that'll be good. I looked up the director of Hard Ticket to Hawaii and the director of Samurai Cop, and both of those guys, I have some more movies from them that are very possible. There we go. So I've got a plethora of genre cinema, that will really tickle the funny bone. Let's see if I can go through some, and then obviously throw some more. I think I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop for now as far as adding stuff because I'm not going to add stuff in bulk. I'll take a suggestion or two, but I think I'm kind of done, but let me see if I can pull it up and I can read you some of my Plex selection here. Oh my gosh, I don't know my password. Maybe I won't do that. Oh, maybe I did it through Google. Go through Google. So that's the story with that. I think I just signed in. There we go. All right, movies. Open Plex. There we go. That's what I want. I still don't know quite. I'm still not very good at using this program yet. The software. I'm not very efficient, and I don't know where everything is. I thought I signed in. Anyhow, this is exciting fair. Let's read some more. Well, here it comes. All right. All right, movie, your media. That's what I want. Go to Plex Media Server. Yeah, I want to go to Plex Media Server. I'll have to install it. Fine. All right, I'll do that. Windows it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wait, maybe I do it in here? I am very, very bad at this. I'm getting old. Old man. I'm an old man, folks. Let me go. There it goes. No, it should be there. Go away. Go away. Anyhow, well, let me just install this really quickly as I will regale you with the rest of the story of what's going on with my Plex. So, yeah, I'm going to be putting... Oh, no, we got a big giant flare. Well, that's not good. Well, maybe we'll just J.J. Abrams this a little bit today. Going to deal with some flare. So, yeah, the sun does come in here a little bit, but not much. It was very angled sun. All right. Wasting time here. I need to get to the next movie that I'm trying to talk about. Let's see. There it goes. Sign in. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. Your media. No, maybe it's not showing me my media. Well, all right. Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll talk about all the things I have on here. I thought I signed in. Got it. Well. Oh, you know what I can do? I'll show it to you on my phone. Make this easier. This is so unexciting to watch. I'm sorry. All right, let's talk about you guys. Do you like Streets of Fire? I don't think I have that one. That might be one I add to my list here. Streets of Fire. Three Amigos is really bad. Well, my friends love the Three Amigos. I have not seen it. Yeah, right. Danny Trejo. Thank you very much. Show enough. Exactly. So, here's the movies. So I have a whole Neil Breen collection. And by the way, the Neil Breen Dream Team is my name of my bar. The friends that come over are going to come over here, and we did bar trivia on Thursday, and I am just bragging because this is the second time we came in first. All right, we won. The Neil Breen Dream Team is the most amazing. We consistently deliver on our amazingness. So I'm very proud of. I have 70 movies in my bad movie. Here we go. In no particular order. Hercules in New York. Crypt of Living Dead. Superfly TNT. Zardoz. Dolomite. Super Inframan. Human Tornado. Death Game. Petey Wheatstraw. The Visitor. Disco Godfather. The Apple. Raw Force. Extro. Boarding House. The Boxer's Omen. The Ice Pirates. Supergirl. Lost Empire. That's the one I want to watch. Ninja 3. Ninja 3, let's see the rest of that. Ninja 3, The Domination. Ooh, that looks amazing. Oh, stop it. I don't want to watch it now. Stop. Go away. There we go. All right, where were we? Extro. Raw Force. The Boarding House. There we go. Past that. Blood Debts. Malibu Express, The Last Dragon, The Adventures of Hercules 2, Life Force, Massacre in Dino Island, Howling 2, Death Wish 3, The Peanut Butter Solution, Never Too Young to Die. We've actually already watched that one. Masters of the Universe, Penitentiary 3, Hollywood Cop, Killing American, Red Scorpion, Action USA, The Lords of Magic, Robot Jocks, Young Rebels, Phantom Mall of Eric's Revenge, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, Tango and Cash, Guns, a nymphoid barbarian dinosaur hell, prehistoric bimbos in Armageddon City. I think I put that on there because it just looks stupid. All right. Stone Cold. Stone Cold's another one I want to watch. Blood-sucking pharaohs in Pittsburgh. Samurai Cop. So I have the good version. Munchies. Hard Hunted. Live Wire. Dr. Giggles. Undefeatable. Fit to Kill. The Dallas Connection. Faust. Tammy and the T-Rex. Grid Runners. Rage. Lethal Tender. Battlefield Earth. Thunderpants. Thunderpants is a maybe. Who's Your Daddy? Suburban Sasquatch. Who Killed Captain Alex? Hobo with a Shotgun. The Amazing Bulk. Sharknado and Blackbird. So that is my list of movies that I have collected. Sardoz is tough to beat. Yep. Sardoz might be, I don't know. Gamma Super Monster, where you literally get to see giant kaiju turtle fighting a Star Destroyer from Star Wars and a sexy Japanese costumes heroes. Boy, you're tempting me with that one. Gamma Super Monster. Hard Ticket to Hawaii is absolutely amazing. That's why I want to watch the other movies that that director did. UHF and Vibes. I think my friends liked the UHF. Anyhow, Space Truckers. Ooh, that's another one. All these on VHS. I try to find the Blu-ray releases, actually. Life Force is a great movie. There's 2 really good reasons to watch it. Nice. And then the thumbs up. Okay, so that's the story with Plex. Let me get to the last thing that was on my list, 2 more things I guess on my list, which was Saturday night. I watched Saturday Night, the movie about the first episode of Saturday Night Live. When we call it Saturday Night Live. And you know what, man? It sucked me in. At first I was like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know if I'm going to like this. I started watching it, and then I just there's a sweetness about it. There's a genuineness about it, and it just sucked me in, and I fully enjoyed it. And it came kind of hard on me because honestly that night, because I just hadn't seen anybody in a couple days, and I felt so damn lonely, and I just was like, so watching that movie made me kind of like really sad because it's like, man, what they're doing looks so much fun. Looks so damn fun. Now, like I said, there's a theme today about that. That didn't happen that way. Like, there's a lot of stuff they made up. Like, there's an example I'm making. It is true that John Belushi didn't sign his contract until the very last minute, or maybe, he cut it really close before signing the contract. But I don't think he cut it that close. And if he did, okay. But there's a scene in there where he's ice skating on the Rockefeller 30 Rock Center, where the Prometheus statue is, that famous ice rink, that he's like ice skating there. First of all, I'm not even sure there would have been an ice rink right there. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just thinking that out loud because the first show was like October or something. So I'm not sure there would have been ice there yet. That might have been a contrivance. But on top of that, he was ice skating like 13 minutes before the show was about to start. And I'm like, that's pushing credulity. I think he's in his dressing room 13 minutes before the show starts. I don't think he's on at the ground floor. I mean, it's going to take like 10 minutes just for him to get an elevator to get a studio, whatever, 8H or whatever, 8th floor. It's going to take a while. So stuff like that, kind of like, I'm like, I don't think so. So there's a lot of that in the movie, which bugs me, but the performances are really sweet and genuine. I like the fact that, hey, you've got actors playing other actors. You've got actors playing real people, and they do a good job of making you think. They're not doing necessarily an impression, but they balance that line between doing an impression and doing something that evokes the character of a Chevy Chase. I mean, he doesn't look like Chevy Chase necessarily, but he's doing that the style of talking that Chevy does, and he does the kind of like quick-witted jokes and stuff like that, and sort of like you can see in his character this, because we know the history of what happened to Chevy Chase and how he got kind of like, he became the star of Saturday Night Live, or Saturday Night at the time, and he became sort of bigger than he was, then he decided to go off, and he has a big ego, and you get a little of that. You see John Belushi, you see, all the characters, you see Lorne Michaels, you see Billy Crystal is in the movie, there's a Billy Crystal. You see Jim Henson. Jim Henson actually was a really very good turn in Jim Henson. J.K. Simmons plays Milton Berle, and he steals it. He's really good in his scenes as Milton Berle. The whole movie Saturday Night is so well done. It's so well done, but the thing is, it made me sad because like I want to be in that energy, even though I know like this is a movie, this is fake, right? Like I don't think the people at Saturday Night, it was probably crazy, but it was still a job, right? But they kind of make it out to be a magical time, and it's like, well, that's Hollywood talking, but still, I would love to be in a space where like, like those kind of things can the energy, the fun pace of creating something and solving a problem, and all, well, I don't know. It was just so much fun to watch that movie, but it put me in a place of deep sadness because it's like, I'm not doing that. I need to be doing something. And well, I don't know. The world isn't what it is anymore, So anyhow, we can talk. But that's my thoughts on Saturday Night. I definitely recommend you guys watch Saturday Night. Yeah, Wingate says the cast of Saturday Night was spot on. It was so much. It's so good. I mean, it's like, okay, it's just like a warm meal. And just don't take it too seriously. And I have issues with Saturday Night because I just feel like it's obviously it changes, right? I mean, there's seasons. You could write books on the whole show. It's not this 40-year history. It's not one monolithic show. It's been probably 40 different shows, 40 different seasons, 40 different things that go on. And I think the modern version just doesn't appeal to me the same way, And then partly because I'm from Temecula, and there was Lisa from Temecula, and everyone made a big deal about Lisa from Temecula, and I hated that sketch. I thought it was like so stupid. It's like, you just picked Temecula because it sounds funny. That's all I picked. Anyhow, but yeah, no, that was kind of call back to the earlier, very early kind of Saturday Night, and it was fun, it was and I think that's okay. So let's jump to the last thing I wanted to say. I did say no Snow White. I didn't say no Snow White discussion. I'm saying I'm not going to watch that movie. I've been following it. I've been following all the reviews now that the movie's out. I've been following all of it. I've been just seeing what everyone's saying, and everybody that I've got people that I've listened to on the right. I've got people that I listen to that are very far left. Well, not very far, but solidly left wing camp. And I've got two trusted sources on both sides, and they both hated the movie. So it's probably bad. It's probably not worth my time. And I think I'm better off just going ahead and just hanging out here and working on my own stuff rather than try to go see this movie and talk about it, because I ain't gonna say anything that everyone else is saying, and I don't see myself enjoying it. I mean, I already kind of listened to some of them. I heard some of the music in some of the reviews I watched. I'm like, okay. So yeah. But that's kind of the way. That's kind of like how I've been feeling about movies. And again, this little live stream is always just me getting on here and just doing what I do, and it's just blabbing and listening and reading some of your comments, and hopefully we can kind of like have a back and forth. But there is sort of, to me, I mean, I sense it. I think you guys all sense it too. There's just not. I'm not excited about movies in the way I used to be. And I want to be excited about movies. And I saw Flow, and I liked Flow a lot. And I saw Saturday Night, and it made me want to be part of a group that was, daring to break the mold and do something different. And, you put Andy Kaufman up there doing, the Mighty Mouse thing. And that's like a complete antithesis of everything, And then George Carlin, was the host. And that was sort of, there's a lot of this, like, this tug of war between, like, what is generally acceptable and what is out there and adventurous and new and exciting and all that. And Lorne Michaels seemed like he was like the championing something new and bold and fresh and funny, and the way he described his show. And this is really powerful. And I'm sorry this is, come on. That if you don't know that Saturday Night Live continued on after the first episode, then I don't know what to tell you. But he said he wants Saturday Night to be like a party in that, like a New York City party. It's like that kind of excitement that you get when you move here, and it's just a big old party. And when I heard that, it struck a chord with me. Like he wanted this show to be a party, be a good time. I don't feel like movies today are meant to be a good time. I feel like movies today are meant to preach something. And I'm not saying like it's just like Rachel Ziegler telling you that Snow White don't need no man in her life, and that we're going to show you a story. We're going to show you, a weird story. I can't help but do that whenever I hear Rachel Ziegler. I see that face going weird, that kind of thing. But like that movie's like, we're here to correct the past. We're here to girl boss it up. And I'm getting sick and tired of girl boss stuff, because like the men are falling behind too. Let's get some male, some positive masculinity back in the society. But anyhow, movies are now here to preach. And I don't feel like, and if they're not here to preach, they're here to to scare you or intrigue you. It's like there's either preachy movies or only movies that intrigue. And there's no just movies that are, we're going to have a good time. When's the last time you went to a movie? It's like, we're just going to have a good time. And that's what really sucks to me. And that's kind of why these bad movie nights are so kind of refreshing, is because they're mostly from the 80s and 90s, and they are just we're going to have a good time. Like this blaxploitation movies especially. It's they know, they're having such a fun time making the movie, and they know you're going to have a fun time watching it and like goofing around with it. And it's just a fun time. It's a good time. That's called porn, John. I don't know. Some porn is even like, porn sometimes isn't even about, I don't know. At least porn is designed to elicit some sort of response. Junebug says, I will save Hollywood, don't worry people, but in order to do that, I'm going to be independent from Hollywood and build my own, because right now Hollywood has become the trust we need, a Carl Laemmle. Yeah. I think Flight Risk was managed a good time. Good. I hope so. I hope so. Maybe I'm just not seeing those movies that are the good time movies. Like, I don't know, something like Hercules. Okay, like no one's taking this shit seriously. Like, but like it feels like movies are either going to be preachy in that they're going to try to push their whatever message they're trying to push. And I'm not picking one or the other. I'm picking both sides. There's obviously a lot more movies of one particular political ideology than there are the other, but either way, they both are boring to me. Or they're going to be trying to intrigue you to death, which is like, I mean, be annoying about saying it, but Severance to me is sort of like nonstop intrigue. I'm just going to like mystery upon mystery upon mystery upon mystery upon mystery. Another mystery, all the way down. And, it's kind of funny. I was looking up my name on Internet Archives for some reason. Well, I was trying to find all the Neil Breen movies, and they're all on Internet Archives. And I looked myself up, and I found that someone archived a podcast I did about Bridgerton. All right. Now, Bridgerton is a show that's aimed for women. But to me, that Bridgerton's like, we're going to have a good time. We're just going to have a good time, ladies. Come on, ladies. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have handsome men and pretty girls, and they're going to be wearing pretty dresses, and everyone has pretty dresses, and everything's all pretty, and there's flowers, and there's weddings, and there's gossip, and we're just going to have a good time together. And that's what Bridgerton felt like. It just felt like, it's just the female version of, we're going to get together and have a good time, girls. And now, and like the movies for guys would be like, like an old action movie, a Rambo or something where it's a Chuck Norris movie. All right, we're just going to get together. Good guy's going to kick the bad guy's ass and say a cool ass line right before he says it, Chuck Norris's line from, I think it was Action USA, one of those movies. And he says, it's a good time. No, it's about time to die. And it's like, it's a good time. Come on. You can watch those movies with just abandon. And now we have to ask ourselves, was that problematic? Was that racist? Was that somehow sexist in a way? What does that say, about the male-female dynamic? And how does that reinforce the patriarchy? Because that's where the fucking world is right now. That's where we can't just have a good time. And the thing is, though, but here's the thing. You get off the internet and people are still having fun. People are still just having a good old gay time off the internet. Everyone's just having a good old gay time. But on the internet, everybody's miserable. It's just, oh my God. And I hang around the internet way too much. All right, that's my soapbox. The people making the movie hate half the country now. It wasn't like that back in the day. Yeah. But the thing is, there's probably a bunch of Republicans that work in Hollywood too. There are. They just can't say that they're Republican. But they probably, well, my friend was saying there's a call, Friends of Abe, which are basically the Abraham Lincoln obviously was the guy that invented the Republican Party, so they're the hidden minority in Hollywood that get together and, I'm sick of it every time I got to listen to this. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Junebug says, I have plans. I'll buy RKO and add boldly announce the magazine that RKO is now divorced from Hollywood. We're going independent. We're going to make movies better than you, Hollywood. There you go. So here's the problem with developing a new Hollywood. There is a new Hollywood. It's called streaming. And it's called YouTube. It's called Twitch. It's called a million other things that take you away from. It's called video games. Video games are the new Hollywood. There's so much stuff that's drawing attention away from Hollywood that centralized power in the motion picture world doesn't make any sense. Why would you have centralized power? Just turn on me right now, and I can get like 10 people watching me blabber about something that they'll probably just say I'm an idiot later on, which is par for the course for me. Did I talk about Nosferatu? I did when it came out. So if you want to go back a few weeks, you can probably see it in there. Having a good time should not include making others feel like shit. Well, but here's the thing. Having a good time, you assume that they make other people feel like shit. Whereas I think the nature of it is, I think most of it is people being upset for other people, people getting offended for other people. And if you ask them, hey, if they're having a good time, they might say, yeah, I can take a joke, or I can do, whatever. And that's what it is. During the Golden Age and beyond, Hollywood did hate a large segment of the population or country. Well, maybe not. I think it's not quite the same way. I don't think in the golden era of Hollywood, they necessarily hated the population. I think they just it's not the same. It's not the same. They might have not thought about them very much. It was yeah. But they also knew that it pays. It's who the money comes from. Critics in the 80s were always complaining about those fun movies Chuck Red Dawn. I know. That's the raspberries. That's why I also don't like the Raspberry Awards, because I feel like they're kind of joyless. They gave The Shining a raspberry. Come on, guys. Yeah. So racism and anti-gay did not exist. Well, I mean, it obviously did exist, but it's not the same. Not quite the same. Yeah, it's not. I think if you were to make sort of the, I think if you were to make a, I think it's disingenuous to say it's the same kind of political hatred that you have that's going on today. It's not quite the same. This is a really contentious subject. Well, we'll go there. Why not? We'll go there. Get a little bit of drama. Aren't you entertained? Let's see if I can wiggle this out. At least try to be as diplomatic as I possibly can, because I think it is it's a failure to say, well, it's always been that way, or it's not quite. I think that's basically saying, well, red is basically pink. Red, and they're both colors, so they're the same thing. It's like, no, it's a little more than that. It is disingenuous to claim it's not. I disagree. So I think it's disingenuous to say, well, they're the same. It's like, no, they're not the same. They're not the same. I think there was a different. Also, there was a different continuity. I think you would say a lot of people even the people that hated, there was hate obviously in the past, but I don't think there was not a disappointment, but like a what do you call it? Not disrespect, but like sort of a anti-Americanism in even in like liberal camps of the. Well, there was, but it wasn't as nearly as widespread as is today. So I think it's disingenuous to say that that is right. And Rocket Boy, you are incorrect. Pink is not a shade of red. Pink is a tint of red. So that is the level of pedantry I am going to engage with, and that's what I mean. I think it's disingenuous to say that this is the same as that. So pink is not a shade. Pink is a tint of red, and that is the level that I want you to think at. And I don't want you to think like, well, they're the same thing. They're the same thing. Like that doesn't first of all, that doesn't make you understand the topic better to make those general like sweeping, well, they're the same thing. No, that's just being stupid. Okay? That's just being stupid. So, I wonder if anybody will make a Leslie Nielsen type comedy again. We talked about this, I think, the other day. Did we? I'm not sure. They're going to remake Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. Now, a lot of people are very upset about that. I am not one of those people, because I think Leslie Nielsen might be a very good Naked Gun, might be a very good take on Naked Gun. So I'm excited about that. Shades of gray. All descriptions of color are subjective. There we go. There we go, Rocket Boy. You're re-employing the level of stupidity that we've come to expect now. We basically want to just, all levels are subjective. Everything is subjective. There is no difference between anything. Everything is exactly the same. All right. You're being retarded. I'm sorry. So you kind of keep it up there. But I think that's a level of thinking that basically is kind of leading us to total stupidity. So I'm going to get rid of you. Bye-bye. All right, anyhow, let's get back to this topic here. All right, so what I wanted to kind of get rid of, because I don't have a lot more patience with stuff like that. Like to start saying, well, it's all subjective, everything's subjective, so there's no difference between anything. Okay, we need to think a little bit deeper, and maybe I'm just not in the mood. You're harshing my buzz, maybe, man. You're harshing my buzz. So anyhow, all right. So, So I wanted to bring up another point because I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. I want to bring up another contentious topic. So there was a video out there, I don't know if you saw it, that Boston Dynamics, and damn, well, I'm not in the mood today. Don't test me. Let's go back to comments. Progressives have been used this medium for propaganda. It's always been subtle. Yes, I agree. I just think that I gotta re-engage the topic here. To say it's the same hatred is just not. it's ridiculous because I mean you're talking about an industry that has always been progressive, and to say, well, it's always been the same hatred, and it's like, well, no, Hollywood's always kind of been patting themselves on the back on how progressive they've been. So and now it seems like it's reversing. You're seeing kind of like authoritarian tendencies of the left. So we were talking about. So I wanted to bring this up. Boston Dynamics holding a gimbal. So Boston Dynamics, their new robot. Another company called WPP is like wanting to explore some production uses for this Atlas robot, and what they did was they put a gimbal in its hand, like a gimbal on a fig rig, and they said, well, and then this was on Reddit, and everybody, oh my gosh, on Reddit was like saying, not everybody, but like was saying like, it's so stupid, it's holding a gimbal. The robot doesn't need a gimbal. The robot is a gimbal. And I was responding to them, and I said, well, no, because the robot is not designed to be a gimbal. The robot is designed as they call it a general purpose humanoid robot, which means it's just supposed to do what a human can do, but maybe like more precise. So, I mean, you can train it to be exactly recreate motions and all that. You can train it to like walk and all that stuff. And I was like, well, so the gimbal makes sense to put a gimbal in its hand because, the hand does not have like accelerometers. It doesn't have the sensors on the gimbal itself, so you have to put a gimbal on it because I got so much shit for that. Well, not so much. I got like 2 people really got pissed off at me saying, well, it's taking our jobs, man. It's taking our jobs. And I'm like, it's not taking your job. You are not as expensive as that robot. I guarantee you that robot's probably more expensive than it is to hire you. Although, maybe a big company would hire a bunch of robots, but they're not going to get rid of their humans because someone needs to maintain those robots. Someone needs to like fight them off when they eventually grab those guns and start hating on people. But anyhow, so I got so much crap, and then I said, it's not taking your job, it's taking the other robot's job. Those big giant robotic arm cameras, right? If you could put the camera on an Atlas robot and then go out in the location and use it like a robotic arm, because you can repeat the shots over again, and hopefully with sensors and stuff like that, and maybe make it more robotic or make it more precise. Then yeah, it's cool. It's not necessarily a bad. People were just going on to me, and this morning I was trying my best to just not be defensive like I was with Rocket Boy down there, and just try to like respond, but it was I just had enough of it. Well, no, I never did. I never did become defensive about it, but man, people were angry at me for saying I thought it was really cool. And then on top of that, like, I wouldn't mind letting it lug around my C-stands for me. Why not? Like, why not, if it can carry C-stands, and they're like saying to me like, oh, it's if you don't, it's a very fragile piece of equipment. It's like, Boston Robotics cameras are not fragile pieces of equipment. You've seen these pictures the videos where they kick them, right? They kick them in the side. So it's the deep state, man. I tell you, it's always the deep state. I mean, I haven't got my deep state check yet, so we need to talk. I feel that there's more hatred against chuds by Hollywood than usual. Maybe I'm wrong. I think so. I'm going to break it down real right. I think what's happening is that I think that Hollywood, as I understand it, the work is down considerably. So, and I was on this thread about this, and I got downvoted for saying this, but I think here's what I think happened. I think the streaming companies came in and destroyed the market for movies. I think that's what happened. I think Disney, Netflix, Amazon rushed in and they said, we need content. We need content. We need content. Content. Give us all the content. If it sucks, I don't care. Give me more content. I need more content, more. And then we had like 2 or 3 years with this massive buildup of content. And I think, a lot of it was seriously bad because it was just too much. It's just too much stuff to watch. And now we're paying for it because there's just a glut in the market. We've tired people out. Tired people like me who used to love movies. Now I watch 1 or 2 movies a week. Hopefully, I'll watch some more because I have more options now. But it's just too much stuff, and that's why I think what happened, why production is way down, because people aren't excited about movies anymore, not in the way they used to be. And I've tried to be, much more, but it just feels like it's just there's just too much, and I feel like that's why jobs are down. It's not because robots are taking your jobs. It's because it's just not as exciting and interesting to watch stuff anymore. Like, I guess that new show on Netflix called Adolescence, which looks interesting. I might check it out. It was all done in one take. All these shots were just literally one take episodes, 25 minutes of one take, and I guess they really did it one take. But that's the only reason I want to watch it, because I'm interested in the technical side. You tell me a show about adolescence, I don't care. Like, I'm not sold on that. I'm not excited about that. I don't know. Can you specify the true authoritarian tendencies of the left you are seeing? Burning down Teslas is definitely authoritarian. Yes, shooting CEOs in cold blood is authoritarian. And the common thing people say is when the right got pissed off because they had a trans woman selling Bud Light, no one burned down a Bud Light brewery. But I mean, if you buy the Bud Light, you can shoot it with an AR-47 all day long. That's cool. But you don't burn down the building. So if you bought a Tesla and you burn it down, that's your thing. But you don't burn down Teslas. And then on top of that, to attack Tesla, which Elon Musk is only tangentially involved with at this point, he doesn't spend much time there at all. Just, it's dumb. That's what the authoritarianism is. Yeah, most TV cameras at TV stations are. I think they're robots even maybe at least 15 years ago. I remember watching, like, there's a show on. I used to watch this show called Good Day L.A. It would come on at 7 a.m. and then they would occasionally, like, show you behind the scenes, and yeah, they had no camera operators. They were all there. Like, there was just a monitor, a TV, or a camera, and a teleprompter. Silly cat, that's good. Norm Macdonald should have had a late night talk show. Like, honestly, Norm Macdonald. But so Norm Macdonald would not have worked with the what do you call it? Norm Macdonald would not have worked with networks. Luigi Mangione isn't a leftist. Burning Teslas is not an authoritarian. Yeah, that's sort of. Yeah, burning Teslas. That's kind of a dumb statement. Like, I don't, like, you can say that's true. I can say that the sky is not blue. Doesn't mean it's correct. Yeah. I'm getting. Set me straight if I'm wrong. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah, same here. Burning batteries is always a good idea. Yeah, especially throwing paint on works of art. Yeah, that'll do. That will solve the trick. That will stop oil. Well, that's what we need to do. Is we need to throw a can of soup at the Mona Lisa. That's gonna work real well. COVID changed the way we consume massively. No cinemas, no new broadcast TV. It's never going to back those levels. Broadcast in the UK is dying, slowing death to the streaming services. I have not thought to include COVID in that discussion, but you are right. I feel like a lot of it got changed during COVID, and oof. Now, I mean, thinking about it, it's kind of sad because, like, it's not just an industry problem now. I feel like it's also a bigger, larger societal problem. Centrist and moderate pilled, and that's the thing. Like, I've taken those political alignment maps, and I get a bullseye almost. I'm literally right down the middle, slightly above whatever the 4 quadrants. I'm like one tick above the middle. and then I feel like I feel like I have to have to defend extreme right wing views when I'm literally like centrist moderate pilled. But I have people saying that burning down Teslas is not authoritarian. And I got this asshole here, Ramanul, saying very authoritarian of you, LOL. Yeah, like I don't think you understand what the word authoritarian means, dude. And so, yeah, so like, yeah, that's just, that's so weird. Whatever, that's cool. You don't have to do it on my channel, though. There we go. Well, what happened here? Let's refresh that. Oh, let's go back to that thing. Let's go back to your comments. I gotta get going probably in another 15 minutes here. So I'll hang out for a little bit. Oh, I said I'm above average on this horizontal spectrum. Alright, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Alright. I tend not to talk politics or religion or region. Not that I don't have opinion, I just don't like to start arguments. I know, and I don't either, but today I'm making an exception because I have this beer. And I don't know, like they'll also argue that all art is politics. I mean, I've heard that bandied about. Like all art is politics. So I can't discuss art without getting into some politics, and you can't discuss things like what's going on with Snow White without entering the political realm because they're not allowed to. I mean, I feel like to be fair, it's not like they didn't invite the topic to the table here. It's not like we don't know what Rachel Zegler's politics are. Pretty sure we do. Right? She hasn't been, at least not recently, she has been a little bit more quiet about it, but it's not like she's been very demure about what she believes. We are definitely, and we are definitely seeing that. I am a centrist with reactionary characteristics. Thing is, though, like, if I was to be politically honest, I think I'm definitely not a libertarian. I thought I was when I was younger. I thought I was more libertarian, but I'm not, because I have seen, for example, I hate the fact that I have to have an inspector come and look at this space to make sure I have enough nails in my drywall. I feel that's silly. I feel that's a little overboard. However, I also understand why if I did this myself and I didn't put enough nails into the drywall, that after a certain amount of time, I could have a catastrophic collapse, or I could have the drywall fall off fall off the wall because it wasn't installed properly. Because there are structural reasons for drywall. It's not purely aesthetic. So I understand that. So that's why I cannot be truly libertarian. I do have friends that are truly libertarian, and I have to argue with them. They're like, well, no, because then you would just get a contractor, and there would be private, organizations that would also ensure quality. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not entirely sure, they will necessarily be reliable. Like, the government's not reliable. The government's corrupt. What makes you think that private organizations can't be corrupt as well? Because private organizations obviously are corrupt. There are lots of private organizations that are corrupt. It's very easy to corrupt a private organization, just like any human organization is corruptible. That's just the nature of society, nature of man, is the corruptibility of society, of man. So I'm not libertarian, but I'm definitely more like meritocracy. Yay meritocracy, yay equal treatment, fair treatment of all people. Fair treatment, that means everybody's fair, not necessarily equitable, but fair. That kind of thing. So that's kind of where I've been standing. And then I'm also like this robot thing. I'm like, well, let's not always poo-poo things, ideas that we are, that we see and we just jump right against. Rigel, you're there. I see you are doing drywall. Isn't it just so much fun? Here's how I do it, which makes it really fun. I don't do it myself. That's a secret. I think one of the main issues we have with social media is people find it hard to have a debate with someone. I can disagree with you doesn't mean I no longer like you or would be upset by it. Yeah, I agree with that. And so part of what I was experiencing, and I kind of let my temper get a little bit hot there today, but I'm not going to apologize because that's the way I am. But I feel like people don't know how to debate. People aren't even making points. Like on the robot thing I didn't get pushback. I just got called an idiot. I didn't get pushback for what I was saying. I just got like, you don't know what they asked, like, well, do you know what a motion design rig is? I'm like, yeah, I know what a motion design rig. I'm saying this can be something that substitutes for a motion design rig. Well, you don't know what a motion design rig is. Well, it's like, well, then tell me what it is I'm missing. Like, instruct me, inform me, what am I missing that this cannot be a substitute for this? Explain that to me. But I didn't get that at all. All I got was, you're an idiot, you're naive, you don't know what you're doing, you don't have there was nothing there, right? And just like one of the guys was at Ramen, where he said, like, well, burning down Tesla is not authoritarian, like calling a bunch of people Nazis and then deciding it's okay to just basically do whatever you want to them. That's not authoritarian. That's not authoritarian at all. It's a reactive response, not a proactive one. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is just reactionary. Yeah. So it's supposed to be like, oh, you're an idiot. Well, no, that's the left is not authoritarian. What are you talking about? But it's like, well, I gave you a couple examples. All you're saying is like, well, it is, or it isn't. It is, it isn't, it is, isn't it? So I was watching on Plex, and I was just trying out some things, and I pulled up Kentucky Fried Movie. You guys remember Kentucky Fried Movie? And I watched a segment of it. I was watching part of it, and they had a little news thing where they were doing this like back and forth between like point counterpoint segment on news. And it started off with like, oh, these liberals don't know what they're talking about. You guys are, you're completely morons. When will you realize that welfare is just hurting the worst people? And maybe if you wake up, you brain dead liberals, you wake up, you'll finally realize that you're going to get this thing. And now we turn it, and that's in the liberal side, she's like, Jim, you arrogant bastard! I've been putting up with your shit long enough, and I'll tell you, you can just go. You can just go and sit on this. And he flips off the camera, and it's like, this movie was made in like 1970 something or another, and the political discourse is same it is. I see you are drawing drywall. It's a hell of a statement, though. Yeah. How do you view meritocracy when working a job in a shitty country with shit pay, whereas others do the same job, better country, living much more comfortably? Does the person deserve more than me? Well, unfortunately, there is luck of the draw. And, that's meritocracy is moving your butt out of that shitty country and with your shitty pay and taking some crazy risks and coming here or going to another country and just throwing it to the wind. It's like, I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go and go crazy and do something else, because I guarantee you, if that's you, and I want to speak from the heart here, if that's you and you're stuck in a shitty pay, and you're stuck with a shitty whatever it is, then, and you're not willing to do something about it, that's going to be on you, not someone else. Everybody has different cards that they're dealt. And so I'm not saying it's easy, but it's also scary as hell to get out of your situation and try something different and do something different. If you just accept the meritocracy, if you just accept mediocrity, if you just accept the fact that, you know what, I'm fucked, I got the worst situation I have, then I don't have a lot of sympathy for you if you just accept it. Well, if you accept it, then you accept it. And okay. I don't feel, don't ask for anyone else's to affect that. But if you go and try to affect change in your own life, change in your society, change in whatever you're doing, just take a shot. And it will be scary. You will not have something to fall back on. That's courage. And that's what the meritocracy requires. So it's not about, again, meritocracy is not fairness. And that does come back to your last point, Daryl. Why does a person living in a better country deserve much more? Because meritocracy isn't about fairness. Meritocracy isn't everyone is fair and everyone deserves. No, it's you work your butt off and maybe you'll be successful, or maybe you'll be able to scratch by enough. It's not, and yeah, they're going to have Nepo babies, and you're going to have people that have connections, and you're going to have 100 million reasons why everyone is more successful than you. That's the way it is. That's life. That's the world. That's always going to be. You can think you can get an equitable treatment, but you're never going to get there because there's always going to be someone that's ahead of you. Always. That's the human condition. It's just the way it always is. And so I don't believe it's fair to then go and say, well, because you had it nice and you got to give up a lot over here. I do believe in progressive tax systems, right? I do believe if you make a lot of money, hey, you should pay a little more taxes. But that's my thought on that. Anyhow, right. So I have to work harder than others. Don't you feel goes against your idealistic view? No, because you don't know how hard they worked. You don't know how hard they got there. You don't know. But yeah, meritocracy does. Yeah, you do have to work hard. Meritocracy means that we reward people that work harder than everyone else does. That is true, though. So there's an aspect of that. What you said is true, and that's part of what makes it good. Because if you just do what everyone else does, then you're not going to succeed. Most of my favorite artists have absolutely deranged political views from my point of view. I still think they're brilliant. Sometimes if people get a little bit too radically political, I lose interest. I love to live in California. It looks like a dream. It looks like a dream if you have certain resources. Like, look at me. Like I'm privileged. I get the privilege of living here. I'm not in LA, so I don't have that privilege. So, maybe I'll look at, I live on a good traffic day, 2.5 hours from LA. Should I therefore, if I wanted to work in Hollywood, I would move to LA. I should move to LA. I should move to Hollywood. I should get the place where I need to be. I didn't make that choice, So should I have to work harder out here? That's where all this starts to fall apart. You don't understand what other people have done. Like I mean, yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years. Do people feel like, I wonder if an upstart, saw an upstart filmmaker coming up that's never had to use DV tape, right? Never had to use all this other technology, never had to use old technology, never had to use HDV and work with old computers that weren't never fast enough with 16 gigabytes of RAM. And, should they look at me and think, well, he doesn't deserve what he has. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing this, anyhow, that's what I'm saying. The whole thing smacks of envy. All this is envy. Why should I have to work more than the other guy? You're envious. It's all envy. And not to get religious, but envy is one of the sins that leads to a lot of the other sins is envy, and then, that's not just the Christian and Jewish tradition. Envy is the basis of Buddhist thought. Desire is suffering. Desire leads to suffering. And if you can live without desire, then you can be, reduce your suffering. I'll give you a perfect example. Camera operator in the UK without kit is $350, 350 pounds to 400 pounds a day. What's the rate in US, John? I know a lot more. I know it's a lot more over there. Without a kit, I don't think it's more than, so 350, 400 pounds would be like $500, something like that, 1.6 ratio. It's so, I don't think it's much more without a kit. I don't think it's a whole lot more. If you're thinking union, that's different. Obviously union things. I'm not envious, just explaining how naive your worldview is. Again, I don't think my worldview is naive. I think yours is. I think yours is extremely naive. And now so what we're doing now is we're just going back and forth. No, I am. I know who I am, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know what you are, but what am I? So that was probably proper. You should probably go away. I don't think you're legitimately like ready to handle that. Bye. We won't be hearing from him anymore. So yeah, I'm not in the mood. You can tell. I live in Iceland, have good economy, but we have the worst weather in the world. Well, yeah. I mean, in California, it's very expensive. Like nowadays, like the cheapest meal you can get out here is $12 to $15. I mean, I went out to lunch. That was cheap for $4 at Costco for a hot dog and a pizza. Yeah, that was pretty bad. It's not even a discussion, Like, I feel like that's just abuse now, right? I came here for an argument. And all I got was abuse. Like, it's like, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? You're naive. I'm naive I'm not envious, I'm not envious. And he says like, why should I do the same job in a better country, make more money than I do? That's envy. What a dumbass. God. Well, whatever. I don't care. It's not my responsibility to correct you dumbasses out there. I can choose who I associate with. That's my freedom of speech. And I did not choose to associate with people like that. My Steadicam friend moved to Atlanta for work. Credits include Bad Boys for Life, Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, yeah, on a studio film, that's union money talking, though. So that's different. Yeah, they're definitely making more money. But again, also, your example of UK, how big are those movies in the UK that are paying that price versus how big the movies are that are Bad Boys and, Guardians of the Galaxy. The bigger the movie, the more money, right, is involved. So that explains that difference. That's dumbass to you. There is a YT personality that points out envy is one of the worst of the deadly sins because it's all misery. At least the others have a pleasure aspect. That's a good one. Oh, that's Dumas. Is that the guy name? That's really clever. Uh-oh. I think that was just my keys falling. That wasn't anything serious. Crash. Yeah. No, envy can get you, man. If I'm going to be, honest, like that seems to be a lot of everything. Everyone right now there's a difference between, again, everything it's never black and white, and everybody coaxes it as black and white, and that's sort of both really annoying, both in terms of like politics and everything. Nothing is black in discussing stuff on the internet, right? Like this robot's going to take your job. It's not black and white. Nothing's black and white, right? To say that, the rich are getting richer, well, that's envy. If you're getting better, if your life is improving, and someone else's life is improving faster, or you're getting more money than you are, well, that's envy then. But if your life is getting worse and everyone else is getting better and you don't know why, well, again, that's envy. A lot of that's envy. We don't know people's lives. So that's a broadcast TV rate. Movies start around 550 to 600 for an operator. I think in the U.S. that'd still be pretty decent. Again, like, what's the market? Are you talking about Harry Potter movies? Are you talking about that make those rates? Or are you talking about like movies that have UK distribution or movies that have international distribution? So, I mean, I don't think, and to be fair, like what I would pay someone without an operator would be a lot even less than that. Of course, I don't hire like professional. I don't hire high-end professionals. I hire more. Well, the last time professional I paid was $450 for half a day with a camera for half day. So it'll be about $900 for a full day, or 1,000. So and this is for like a video production, not necessarily a film production, video production side of things. I don't know what a cam op on a full blown movie would do. And again, studios would have their own because studios have unions that are attached to it. And of course, Marvel will pay that because Marvel has that kind of money to pay it. I mean, California prices are high anyway. But again, also like, okay, just because we make more money, oh, you live in a shit country, you get shit pay. How much do you pay for groceries? I think somebody was saying like they moved from California to Mexico, and it's like, here's what $7 buys you in California. Here's what $7 buys you in Mexico. And it's like, well, you got like a month's worth of food for $7, or maybe not months worth, but like 2 weeks worth of food for $7. Whereas in California, you got like half a cheeseburger for $7. So there's so many multivariate issues going on here. It's a little more complicated than people are willing to admit. Okay, so on that fun note, now that we had our fill of politics talking about Rachel Zegler and Snow White, because I'm sure all of you were expecting that today, and I hopefully maintained myself. I did tease out a few of the morons in my comment section, and we got rid of them. Sorry, I'm just gonna be that way. If you're gonna come and fight with the host, don't expect to hang out much longer. Thank you for the Zitter post. I didn't get you got from YouTube, only Zitter. Xer. Yeah, no, good. I tried to do that, I think for you, basically. I think you're the only one that follows me on X. So, I mean, at least anyone that I have a lot of followers, but they're not really following, or maybe I just don't put out enough stuff for the algorithm to kind of notify me. But anyhow, now that we've explored the fact that I am a naive right-wing extremist who hates America, who hates the world, hates everybody, who obviously hates himself, or I don't know. Am I? I'm the non-white, white-hating, or non-white guy that hates non-whites. I don't know. Internalized racist, misogynist, all those things. I have been revealed to be such a terrible human being with such awful feeling, such a low-grade understanding of the world, and a coward too, because I will get rid of people. I'm a sensible centrist. You'd think that, but I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm hiding a deep, dark secret that I'm secretly okay with. I don't know, getting rid of some things and going for some meritocracy, or letting things kind of play out the marketplace. I'm kind of evil that way. I need to repent. And I'm also evil because I'm trying to tell people they shouldn't be envious. And they tell me they don't have envy. You can tell it hit a nerve, right? So I'm going to go check on my tri-tip now. Should be close to done, and get ready for my crazy movie night. So thank you for hanging out, seeing the drywall situation that's going on here. And yeah, that is it for today. All right. Hopefully you guys all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your, what do you call it? I'm trying to make another political joke, but I won't. Go see Snow White so that you all can talk about it later. There you go. You found it out. I'm related to Rudolf Hess. That's really what it is. That's my secret. You found it. My great ancestors were Nazis. Oh, don't clip that. Don't clip that. Okay. All right, guys. We will see you later, and I am out to go check on my tri-tip and get things ready for night. All right. Take care, guys. Fade to black. Bye.